Hey guys, it's Doc, and I am going to do a video on online soil tests, or soil tests in general. Which ones are good, which ones are bad, which one I think you should actually choose. So hold on one sec. Hey guys, I've spent a month working on this video, and I'm finally getting to the point where I can say, okay, I can do a video that's worthwhile, that gives you some decent information, and helps you make a decision without wasting your time and money. Before I go forward, this is one of about 4 shorts that I'm doing this weekend. Make sure you click that subscribe button and turn your notification bell on. Notification bell will send a little notification to your phone saying, hey, that idiot Doc has just posted a new video. You need to go watch it. So if I really wanted to get in depth into this whole process, we'd be here about an hour, and I'm going to try and keep it about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So let's summarize what I'm looking for. I really didn't let cost get into this. That's really not what I was looking at when I'm looking at the soil test. I'm looking at ease of use. It's how easy is it to actually get this soil test done and off in the mail, and the accuracy, if I felt it was accurate or not. So that's what I'm going to base this on, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion about what I think you guys should probably use. I don't like to badmouth companies or their products, so I generally just don't talk about them. So there are 1 or 2 that I'm not even going to talk about. Bugs everywhere this morning. But there, one of the soil tests I'm going to show you is a company that sends you a little jar, and it has some fluid in it, and the jar is about, the jar is about that big and only holds about 2 or 3 tablespoons worth of soil. And to me, that's ridiculous. There's no way that I can go on my 17,000 square feet of lawn and get an accurate soil test based on 2 or 3 tablespoons of soil. It's just impossible to do. The proper way to do a soil test. The proper way to do a soil test is go to a zone. So I'm going to go to a zone, and what I'm going to zigzag, and I'm going to take probably about 10 different samples from that zone. For me, on these tests, I did a front and a back. That's all I did. Every time I make a video, I always put a link in the description down below. And that link will take you to a page on the website. So if you're wondering where I got this thing, it'll show you. I'll put that up. I'm going to show you a soil test kit. I'll put a link to that up. And the good soil test that I like, I'll put a link to it on that page. So again, that's where it's going to be, on that page. So I went to my backyard and I went to my front yard. I did a zigzag pattern, and I pulled soil samples. Now, what I'm looking at when I look at my soil samples is I'm looking for a certain zone. And that zone, let me push this so you can see that. See how I have dark organic matter right here? The upper, I would say, what, 1.5 inches? I want to exclude that, so I'm going to take that out. Now, what's interesting is this pH is going to be a little bit different than this pH down here too, by the way. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the soil that's in the root zone, which is at probably the 2 to the 5 inch level. So if I put this all back together, I want to go from right about here is what I'm looking at. That's my zone that I want to capture. So I want to capture that. So if I'm going to capture this, so if I'm going to capture that zone right there, and I want to take 10 zigzags, that's going to be almost a cup of soil by the time I break it down. 2 or 3 tablespoons is not enough to get an accurate soil read. I'm sorry, it's just not. So that's mine. I like to get about 10 of these cores and grind them up. Make sure that crush them up. Make sure there's not a lot of rock or organic matter inside of it. Also, if you see something strange, like if you see like a black pocket or something like that, disregard that. Just throw that out. So I just sort of crush it up and put it in the bag. Okay, so now I've got my soil samples. So then what I like to do, the other thing, for me, time is money. I am a huge believer in convenience. That's why I use Amazon almost exclusively, rather than running to some of the big box stores and dealing with all that traffic, driving all the way there, dealing with the people and checking out and not being in stock. I go to Amazon on a Wednesday, I put it in my cart, I check out on Thursday or Friday, it's sitting in my garage. That's the way I like to shop. Let me show you, if you want to have a soil test kit of your own at home, I'm going to put a link to this one down below, but this is my Lamont soil test kit. This was actually tested by several people and was the closest to actual lab research results that you can get. It's a really good kit. I use the same type kit for my pool testing as well. Really good product. The only problem is it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. And what I mean by that is you have to take the soil, mix it with your solutions, then you have to let it settle, then you got to drain that out and then put it in another tube and then mix it in another. So it is kind of a pain in the butt to do. Now you can get very easy pH readings off this because you just put the pH solution in, you shake it, and then you compare it to the color after it settles. So it is really good for testing your pH. All right, so let's talk about the online kits. So the little online kit with the little plastic thing in it, I don't recommend it. I'm not going to talk about the name. You order the kit, you get it in, you got to fill out a card, you got to put your information, you got to put your name, address, phone, email address. I didn't put any of that. I put my email address and my first name. That was it. I don't want people to have my information. I sent that off, got the results back, and I'm going to show you the 3 different results here in a second. It was okay. Again, probably about 8 days, 10 days, 8 to 10 days is what most of these take. The next one that I did was I sent off to actually the UGA extension office. They have an online kit that you can order. It comes in the mail. Unfortunately, I deleted the video. I was going to show you that. It's a little brown bag about this big. And again, that bag sample holds close to a cup of material, 3/4 of a cup to a cup, and that's where I want to be. But I had to fill out a long piece of paper. They have all those little blocks, and you have to put your name, you have to put your address, you have to put your phone number, you have to put your email address, and then you have to go online, you have to pay for it with a credit card, and create your account and all this. So while the results were good, it just wasn't convenient for me. It wasn't fast and easy. Now the third one, I'll call it the think test. That's Jack Russell. Call it the think test. This one I think is my winner, not only because the results seem to match my results for everything else. I didn't see any weird spikes in it, and convenience. I've got a video, and I'm going to show you the video of what it looks like. But basically, you go to Amazon, go to the page below. I have a link to this test. You get it in the mail, take your test, put it in a plastic bag, and you just check what it is. You just put one check mark, and you send it off in a prepaid envelope, and that's it. You don't put your name, you don't put your email address, you don't put anything. You wait about 8 to 10 days, and there's a number on a card. You get a card. So you're going to get a card, and I actually wrote on my sample number here, I wrote back and front. Make sure you do that if you get 2 of them. So one was my front, one was my back, and I wrote which was the front and which was the back. Do that. Make sure you do that. About 8 to 10 days later, you just go to their website, you punch in this number, and boom, there were my results. It was that simple. So I didn't have to create an account. I didn't have to put in my information. It was really simple and fairly accurate. So the winner for my soil testing is down below. Again, it was close to a cup of material that I included in the sample bag, which is reasonable for a soil sample test. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go over these results. I sent them to my phone so I could actually go and see what I'm actually talking to you about. Let's look at the one that I didn't like. The one that I didn't like was the one with the little container that had a couple tablespoons of dirt. When it comes to reading soil samples like this, there's only 3 things I really look at. I really don't look at anything else. I look at my phosphorus, my potassium, and my pH. Those are the 3 things I want you to focus on. Micronutrients aren't important to me, to be honest, because I'm applying with Super Juice, I'm applying micronutrients to my grass and my upper soil. I'm really not concerned about the root zone too much when it comes to my micros. And honestly, I've never seen any of these soil tests that come back where all my micronutrients seem to line up. Every single soil test I've ever done, the micronutrients never make any sense when you compare them to test. As an example, let me put this up. So this is a test. So the first red arrow you're going to see on here is for phosphorus, which is your P, and it was showing low, which is good. And why is that good? Because almost 2 years ago, because of a certain fertilizer I was using, I had a real high phosphorus spike, and I was getting some chlorosis in my lawn. The leaves were turning yellow, so I stopped using that fertilizer and really haven't put any as far as granular volume. Have put no phosphorus down in my yard, so I wanted my phosphorus to drop down some. I probably dropped it a little bit too much. Anyways, so my phosphorus is low. My potassium is a little bit low, and my pH. Now they say my pH was what did they say it was? They said it was 7.25, which I know is wrong. I absolutely know it's wrong. I tested with my Lamont, I tested with my pH meter, and every other test said I was about a 6.5. So I know that test is wrong. It also shows a huge spike on copper. On both the soil tests I sent in, the front and back showed a huge spike with copper. No one else found that. There was no other test that showed a spike in copper, so I don't know why this test showed that. So I just didn't have confidence in it, number one. And number two, I just didn't like it. It was kind of cumbersome to actually do the test. So let's move on to the next one. So the next one was the University Extension Office test. Again, very cumbersome as far as having to go online, put in a credit card on their website, order, fill out all the information, my shipping address, and then once I got that, I had to fill out another big sheet, put the soil sample on. So it was just kind of a pain in the butt, but the results were actually pretty good. I think they were pretty accurate. Again, it showed my phosphorus was low. It showed my potassium was a little bit low, but it was dead on when it came to my pH. So my pH they're saying is about a 6.6, which is really good. That shows me that that's pretty much dead on. So let's go to the last result. Let's go to my winter. Now, I'll warn you, when you get this result from my winter in, ignore everything at the top and just go down to the bottom. I have all kinds of product recommendations and you're like, what is all this stuff on it? It doesn't make any sense. Skip everything at the top and go right down to the bottom to this part on your test. So it says, if you look at the bottom, there's only three things you worry about. The soil pH showed a 6.6, which is just about right. My phosphorus, it showed me low. Potassium, it showed me medium, which is pretty good. And that's really all I care about. And so you can see on this test, both front and back, it showed the copper was medium. It showed copper was medium, where the other test showed I had a huge copper spike, which was silly to me. So that's my winner on the soil test. Again, you go to Amazon, you put it in your cart, you check out. In about 3 days, the tests arrive in the mail. You open it up, put your soil in it, you put one check mark and send it off, punch in your code, you get your results. Let me show you what it looks like real quick. I'm going to grab that video. I'll show you what that test actually looks like. This is the way it comes basically. It comes like this, and then you get a plastic bag. And all you have to do is check one box, front lawn. Put in the soil. That's a really good amount. That's almost 3/4 of a cup of soil. And then you keep the card. And I actually wrote front on here so I'd know. I'm sure they're going to do it, but it's got a sample number on it. And I just pull up the website, punch in the sample number, and that's it. So we'll see what these guys have to say, and I'll post up the results. So what I'm going to do next week is, now that I got all my results back, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a treatment on my lawn to do the corrective action to bring my phosphorus and my potassium up just a little bit, and I'm going to do it through two means. I'm going to use a little bit of granular to do that, and I'm also going to use a mix-in spray to do that, to make adjustments on it, and I'll show you those tricks, and that's coming up in a video next week, so click that subscribe button. Anyways, guys, that's about it. I just wanted to show you those 3 different tests. Again, the winner is on the page down below. Go there, you'll see the test, and make sure you subscribe, and then you'll see me fixing my soil, the treatment that I'm doing for it, and that's about it. Talk to you later. Doc.